putting all these motherfuckers on notice each and every day. People say, what are you getting ready for? I'm getting ready to make you feel embarrassed about the way that you're built. That's what I'm getting ready for. All right, about to go hit up a run. I got some of these Mind Bullet Kratom gummies. I love these things. All you need is one. All you need is one. Don't go mess around with taking more than one. And even at first, I would say just take half. But I like to take one before a run. Nice little dose of Kratom before a run. Help put you in that kind of runner's, get you that runner's high even before you even start to fully run. Tuck my phone away in my little pocket over here. These are Wallaco shorts. I really like these a lot. I got pockets on each side, and then they also have just kind of like the regular pockets. They tie up, and they got, you know, the kind of spandexy underneath so you don't get the chub rub going. Throw some shoes on. I get a lot of questions about the shoes. These are New Balance. I also will sometimes wear Nike, and a lot of these have this like extra spring in them. These are super shoes, carbon fiber foot plate to kind of launch you forward when you're running. But the Nikes are kind of tight, kind of a tight squeeze. And while these don't have the greatest toe box, at least they're wider. They're at least wider through here. They still have that shoe shape, which I don't really love. But this is the best shoe I found that's both got nice cushion on it and also has carbon fiber foot plate along with being nice and wide. So, and we're gonna get a couple things done at the same time today. You're gonna take my shirt off and just run. It's a little under 50 degrees today, but there's some sun out, so combination of me moving around, hopefully at a pretty good speed, I'll be getting some sunlight, generating some heat, and also getting some of the benefit of getting some of the cold therapy. A lot of people kind of only know the cold from doing like the cold plunge, and that's an unfortunate thing because you can get your cold therapy so many other ways. And you hear people ask a lot of questions about like how long you should do it for. I would say just however long you can handle. You know, maybe at first you're only able to handle 30 seconds, 15 seconds. And also, like, how cold should it be? Maybe you're only able to handle your turning your shower from hot to like warm. That's a good start. I think that's a really good start. I think what you're looking for a couple things. Number one is we learned this from Andrew Huberman, and we learned it from David Goggins. And it was great listening to Andrew Huberman tell David Goggins about this, because Goggins sat back and he was like, yep, I've known about this forever. But basically, when you force yourself to do the thing that you really don't want to do, and you still come out the other end and you actually do it, it actually increases a part of your brain. It increases a part of your brain. It increases almost like a muscle in your brain that is responsible for what? That's responsible for willpower. How cool is that? It has to be something that you don't want to do. So you can't just go and like jerk off or something. Like, that doesn't count. It's got to be something that you don't actually really enjoy in order for that to work properly. So that is like, when you think about, man, I saw Mark or saw this guy talking about, you know, going outside and grounding first thing in the morning, but man, it's windy and it's cold out there. I don't want to do that. That could be the reinforcement to go and do it. Or, man, I don't want to pop my shirt off for this run and get into a little bit of cold therapy. Or I don't want to do this run, period. You know, you don't want to do this workout. Whenever it's something that you don't want to do, just think about that. Think about that you're investing in your future willpower. That's kind of cool. I think that's pretty amazing. I mean, it sounds good to me. Sounds like a victory and a half. There's also no reason to like totally destroy yourself on any of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start I'll start the run with the tank top on, and also, like, look, I got chills right now. I got goosebumps. I don't know how well you can see that with my dry skin, but I got goosebumps right now. Like, it's plenty cold. I don't necessarily need to be a whole lot colder. In fact, I could probably keep this shirt on, but I'm gonna go with the tank top and then pull the tank top off mid-run. And start of a great day. Ran with Kenny, or lifted with Kenny Williams this morning. 22-year-old bodybuilding kid. I believe that kid's got a lot of potential. He's going to be pro. I think maybe within the next year or so he's going to land a pro card. Not trying to put too much pressure on him, but he's a gifted kid. He's just built different. I can just honestly say, with the amount of work I put in and the style of training that I've done, I don't think there's really anything. Not that I couldn't be an effective bodybuilder. I think I could figure it out and probably do okay in bodybuilding. But I just don't really think, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to have like a limiting mindset. I just don't really think there's a scenario where I would ever be built like Kenny. Kenny just has a different physique, and the second that kid does a little bit of shoulder work, his shoulders just blow up. And he's got wide shoulders, he's got a wide back. He also has a small waist. He also has never been fat before, and there's some differences there. But I think that he's going to be able to build a really awesome physique, and I think that he's going to be able to turn pro. So it should be pretty cool to see that. I'm going to start out my run the same way I always do, with a little bit of walking and a little bit of jogging. I recommend to people just literally jog as slow as you can. Jog as slow as you can. We'll go left here. I found that by kind of pacing myself in the beginning and starting out with a little bit of a jog, it really sets me up for later, and it sets me up for heavier breathing later on. I found that if I just kind of go, if I just go like hell, that when it comes to the harder part of the run, I just feel like I can't breathe as well. I feel like my efficiency all around has improved just by taking my time with the warm-up. And you can see, like, my jog isn't even, it's not really even any faster than my walk. Woo, chilly in here. Like extra 5 degrees colder. So here we got a little bit of a hill coming up. I like to speed up before the hill, get a little momentum, and then I like to try to sometimes just not have the hill slow me down. Whew. I always forget to like track my shit, and I then forget to shut it off all the time too. So then it tracks my drive. When I drive home, it's like, you ran 40 miles. But I do like to track a little bit of stuff. You guys seen me with heart rate monitors on and stuff like that before, and I like doing all that, but at the same time, I like to just train. I like to not really think about it too much. And something I notice is, by using the Garmin, and for me personally, seeing the miles per hour that I'm going, that's been beneficial. So I used to probably typically run around 5 miles an hour to 5.5 miles an hour. And now I push a little bit more towards like 6 or 7. And I also don't mind walking. I saw a running influencer the other day. He's like, you know what happens when you do this on your run? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with walking a little bit. In fact, people that do ultra marathons, they walk a lot. They'll walk pretty big percentages of the 100 miles that they run, and some guys will even go as far as to have that be like a strategy. And some of them are really, really good ultra marathoners that are doing it that way. So it's interesting. You think walking really going to slow you down way too much. I'm also trying to actually run instead of just be like this, which this is good. Like, it's good to go out like this. It's good to do this. This is a nice exercise. But for some of my goals and some of the things I want to do, I'd rather be running. It's more fun. A good way to tell if someone's moving pretty quick is by their feet. You know, if their feet are propelling behind them, then they might be going pretty quick. But if their feet aren't going back much or lifting up much, then they're probably going pretty slow. It's your run, you know. Run it your way. Do things your way. You know, you don't really give yourself a chance to do that enough in life. So many things are other people's way. But when you're exercising, it's cool to follow an app for inspiration. It's cool to follow an influencer. But in my opinion, it's best to kind of follow your heart and do it for you and do it the way that you want to do it. You could sprint for 200 yards. You could sprint for 2 miles. You could walk 100 yards, sprint 100 yards. I mean, you can do whatever calls to you, whatever feels good. Every time you see a hill, you could sprint it. Or every time you see a hill, you could walk it. Depends on where you're at in your journey. So 6 miles an hour puts you at like a 10-minute mile pace-ish. I'll sometimes throw on the Nike Run Club app. I know there's all kinds of apps, but this one's easy to use. I just hit start. And it sometimes plays whatever music I was listening to last time, but the info on here is super simple. Gives you your current pace, and gives you some other matrix where sometimes your phone, the writing might be smaller or something like that, and you can't see it as well. But whatever the case is, like, I'm running way faster than this right now, but these things always get screwed up. That's why it's like, they're fun to use, but I don't really love relying on them. Kind of reminds me of like body fat percentage. People keep asking me my body fat percentage, and it's like, I'd like to get it tested, but I really don't care that much. It's probably under 10%, so that's cool. But also, like, here's the way I look at it. I feel really good right now. I feel great about my body, and I'm really happy with where I'm at. So why diminish that by, getting a test done that might give me a result that I wasn't expecting, So that's why I look at it. And in terms of like building muscle, or like losing muscle and stuff, if I'm training hard, I'm eating my protein, I should be able to hold on to muscle mass. And if I'm eating enough food, right, overall food, and getting good sleep, things should be pretty intact. So I mean, that is a reason to get body fat tested, is to kind of see if you're losing muscle mass. But if you lose weight, you're going to lose muscle mass. Kind of almost no matter how you do it. This is feeling real comfortable. I'm actually just going to walk for a little bit because I want to actually run a little faster. And if I keep running at that pace right there, it's going to diminish my strength. I'm not going to be able to run as fast. So I'm going to utilize the same techniques that I sometimes utilize in the gym. Do a little bit of a rest pause. Let my body recover some of its energy. And then we're going to give it hell again. That lady's got her sunglasses on. She doesn't even know about the melanocortin pathway. She's blocking out the sun. These valuable rays of the sun that are naturally here for us. She's blocking them out with a goddamn pair of sunglasses. Leptin, melanocortin pathway. The whole topic, the whole title of it starts with leptin, which we know is a gene that can sometimes be responsible for obesity. So many of the things that are going on today are driven by that. That thing in the sky, the sun. So many people are driven towards obesity. This is why we can't figure out what obesity is or sort of where it comes from. Then people are like, wait a second. What do you mean we don't know where it comes from? It comes from people being lazy and people being gluttonous. Yeah, maybe it does. But why? Why are people lazy and gluttonous? Why are people not moving? Because they're addicted to blue light. Why are they addicted to blue light? Because blue light's made to be that way. Apple, Google, all these different things that we have access to, the blue light, it is a dopamine rush on top of the content that you're actually looking at being a dopamine rush, on top of those companies making those things addictive. I'm not saying there's any conspiracy going on. I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy theory of any kind. I think this is factual. The blue light in our life, our blue light technology, is holding us back from our ancestral right of being a being that's supposed to absorb light. The human body is a solar panel, and most people don't even have a solar callus enough to face the sun every day without getting burnt. And it's something that we need to work on. And did you know that getting slightly sunburnt actually is not unhealthy? It's normal. It's a normal reaction to the sun. Sun rays every once in a while and you get the better of you. They're supposed to. That redness, that pinkness that you might get, that small irritation. I'm not talking about like severe. I'm not talking about severe where you get really messed up. Because you can get messed up from the sun, right? If it's the middle of summer and we're in Sacramento, you have no protection of any kind, no shade, no clothes for 5-6 hours in the middle of summer, and you have no protective coat over you from being exposed to the sun previously, you're going to get got. You're going to get burnt, right? But in general, that pinkish hue is really just your body's reaction to the sunlight, your natural reaction to the sunlight, to bring more nitric oxide to the area and help that area repair and build up and actually start to turn a little brownish, which is good for us. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Doesn't matter if you're Irish or Scottish or whatever and your skin is super fair. Going from super fair to just a little darker is really important. So you have a little bit of a solar callus because the sun gives us energy. The sun can give us energy in so many different ways, but the real gist of the whole thing is that the sun is a mitochondria enhancer. You can look at it that way. And if you want more details on that, listen to my buddy David Herrera. I think he has an Instagram called Solar Athlete. Listen to some of the work from Dr. Jack Cruz as well, and you'll find some of this information out. But a lot of people are tethered to their technology, and they're indoors way too much. They say that people are indoors over 90% right now. And I want you to think about this for a minute. Why in Sweden, why is there such a rise in type 1 diabetes in Sweden right now? That's a wild ass disease, type 1 diabetes. It's because people are spending more and more time inside. Nothing's really changed there. Things like COVID and things like that happened all around the world, and people maybe stayed inside a little bit more than normal too, right? So there's some of those things. But in general, Sweden is usually known as being a healthy country. What's being speculated at the moment is they believe that this is a mitochondrial transfer from the mom, from the mother's genes, from her being inside too long. And this isn't, the development is happening in children that are under 5. That's why they're linking it to the mother. I mean, just Google some of this and you'll see that the whole world is falling apart when it comes to health. And it's like, what do we have in common? We have in common that technology is really starting to kind of run our lives. And it's not ruining our lives, but it's running our lives. And we need to take back our lives in a lot of ways. And for me, some simple things: blocking out the blue light at night, keeping the house much darker, wearing the red light glasses at night. Those are the red glasses. They block out all blue light emission. And then during the day, trying to get the sun as much as possible and trying to get the cold as much as possible. Some people survived evolution via the sun, and some people survived evolution via the cold. And it's because the cold can actually help you generate rays of light inside your own body, which is insane. That's craziness. So even if you don't really love the sun or you don't really love exercise, find some times in the day to get outside and expose yourself to some sun. Additionally, instead of just cold plunging, think of cold therapy. Cold therapy could be this: go out on a walk, pop your top off, or just wear a tank top or expose as much of your body to the cold weather and or sun as possible. You can also just do cold therapy in the shower. You can do cold therapy in your car. Roll down all your windows, turn on the air conditioning, and have an Eskimo party. It's a great way to do it. More talk on that in a minute. I'm going to speed her up. Nothing too crazy, just a good pace. I have a downward hill to go under. I go under a bridge. When I come up around the corner, I'll slow it back down again. A real nice pace going when I get this sort of click with the arms, it's like both elbows are down at the same time, and it's choo, choo, choo. This is running. This feels really good. 8-minute mile pace, 7.6 miles an hour. Work on breathing. Something to think about is pressure backwards with your elbows. Throw your elbows from here down and back, down and back. Down and back. Down and back. Down and back with the legs too. Down and back. Down and back. Watch out, these leaves. Be a little slippery. We got another hill. So turn the speed up a little bit for the hill. Nothing too crazy. This isn't a sprint, just a nice surge. Out of the surge, we're gonna jog it. So this gets to be the hard part. From there, I now have to try to calm myself down. And the best way to calm myself down would be to walk. But for conditioning purposes, it's nice to force it a little bit. I believe that what we're seeing happen with a lot of us today, not just our youth, is we're just overstimulated, oversexed, over dopamined, over teched, over technology, and we have so much of that everything that we do has to be like a high level. Like think about the way your even sugar-free Monster Energy tastes, you know, or Bang Energy, some of those drinks. That reminds me of where we are at as a society in general. Hello. Oh my God, you guys are so cute. Have a great day. That's my favorite thing, is seeing little kids that are so small. It's like, should you be out here doing this stuff? They're like just casually riding their bike or whatever. Just looks funny. Small people with big old heads. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, that mother right there doing a great job getting her children outside. She must have saw like, oh shit, the sun's out. And I bet the kids probably got restless. And she said, let's go on a walk. Now here they are enjoying the outdoors. But I think in today's day and age, we get too much stimulus, hyper stimulus. That Bang Energy drink taste reminds me of just how our society is in general. And it's not just the United States. Other countries are doing it now too. Everything's like over flavored. And I enjoy all this stuff. I gotta tell you, you know, I love Coke Zero and Sprite Zero and all these different things. I like them too. However, it's just whether you think that they're unhealthy or healthy or whatever, or you think they fit your diet, I think is sort of aside from the point. The point is that it's hard for us to do anything and be in the present moment and just do the simple things. Eat some meat with some salt on it. Drink a glass of water. Sit still. Like if you primarily hone in on drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water every day, as opposed to it having a bunch of stuff in it, I mean, it might need a little electrolytes in it. If you're a runner or someone who's sweating a lot, might want to add some salt to it or something like that. So I see the argument there. 6 to 8 ounces of water, a couple servings of fruit, some meat with some maybe salt on it, maybe, you know, some veggies, shit like that. You do all that, you know, plain stuff, and you do it day in and day out, you'll feel incredible. And why are you going to feel incredible? Because you're getting out of your own way. We're supposed to be still. We're supposed to be a little dull. We're supposed to be calm down a little bit here and there so that we can think about it. It's the way that we work, right? You sleep 8 hours a day, or you try to lay down 8 hours a day. Why do we need so much recovery? It's because of the way that we're designed. And we're not recovering. We can't recover if we're constantly scrolling and constantly here. Okay? And I'm not trying to beat anybody up. This is not a... I do it as well. But what I'm trying to illustrate to you guys is that you need a whole entire party, a whole entire cascade of other disciplines just to offset some of that behavior. So maybe you can start to get more equanimity and balance within those behaviors. My brother was telling me the other day that he can't, you know, he's like, I tried to watch that, I can't get into it. I tried to watch this, tried to watch that. He's like, and my girlfriend, she's on her phone while we're trying to watch something, and I'm on my phone, and we're both distracting away from the show that we want to watch together. That's a dopamine issue. That's an overstimulation issue. Now, I'm not saying that putting the phone away and watching the TV is a great option necessarily, but at least it's two people engaging in participating in a form of entertainment that they can later talk about. Whereas opposed to when the phones are out, you're not really both paying attention, and you're not going to be able to communicate about what you were doing or what you're watching because you weren't paying attention. So we're just in some interesting times, and I just think it's good to be mindful of those things. I personally put my phone in airplane mode. It's in a different room than me, not just when I go to sleep, but usually after around 7 p.m. There are times where I go pick my phone back up, scroll through it, and I go to look to see, shit, what am I supposed to do tomorrow? And then I end up on Instagram. I just know these things because I suck too. That's what I'm trying to convey and share. But my sleep scores have gotten better. I feel better. I feel stronger. I feel faster. Lifted with a 22-year-old kid this morning. Had a great full workout. Trained some chest. And I feel fucking awesome today. And tomorrow, I'm going to the beach with my wife. We're going to run on the beach. Get some good exercise in. And the next day, enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. Eat some oysters, eat some wings. And enjoy that day too. But I just think that I don't think that we're recognizing
the damage that these little suckers are causing. We don't want to believe it. It's an inconvenient truth. It's too much for us. We don't want to believe that Wi-Fi, 5G, and radio and electrical magnetic fields are damaging to us. We don't want to buy it. But it's hurting us. And you can see at the very least that it pulls us away from getting this, the sun. And the sun is going to help to make your mitochondria and your metabolism more efficient. You'll get more out of your food when you start getting linked in with your circadian rhythm. How's that? How the fuck does that sound? That sounds pretty good to me. Getting linked into the sun, getting almost, boom, plugged into the sun by simply paying attention to it a little bit more, and you're gonna get more energy out of your food from that, just by that one discipline. Sounds like a good trade-off to me. And I can say that flat out because I can feel it. I'm getting that. I'm getting that every day, and it feels awesome. I don't have injuries. I don't get hurt. I've been training for decades. Not one surgery. I mean, I'm out here running. It's, you know, people, they always want to point to the performance enhancing stuff. And yes, I do utilize testosterone. It's through a healthcare provider. You guys know, like, I'm sponsored by Merrick Health. Do I sometimes take a little bit extra? Fuck yeah, I do. I love it. I'm not supposed to do that. It's not advised by them. But I know my own body, and I feel like I'm doing it in a responsible way. Maybe it's not responsible, but I take full responsibility for that action. But that's not what's holding me together. I'm not literally held together by performance enhancing drugs. It's a combination of everything. The performance enhancing drugs are performance enhancing, so they do help, and they help a lot, and that's why I use them. But it's a lot of these other things, these micro inputs. I get the cold every day. I get light every day. I lift often. I run almost every day at some capacity. I just want people to wake up and to take ownership of their addictions. I guess that's what I would like to see happen. Like Mark Bell, I'm addicted at night to the following: overeating, sitting in front of my TV, and looking at my phone too much. Those are all true. And on top of that, I've done a much better job of it over the last couple years, but I still do a little too much of it. Sometimes in the morning I do too much of it too. I'm like trying to get my day started, get going. I procrastinate and I fuck around on my phone because the internet's fun and I do enjoy it. That's why you guys see so many memes posted. Just because I think that stuff's fun and funny and thought-provoking. All right, we're gonna hit this hill coming up. Speed up a bit. Been running a pretty good clip the whole time. Under 10-minute mile pace for most of the way. I really ultimately want to be able to run right about just like this for 10 to 15 miles and have it be kind of easy. It's kind of my only goal with running. I want to be able to run but run for 10 miles straight. Seven miles an hour. Woo! Got up to 8 miles an hour. Just keep driving the knees forward. This is what I like to think about. Now I'm gassed. Now we're going to try to breathe. And by the time I get around this corner up here, I want to be able to speed up again. It's going to be challenging. A little similar to rest pause, right about here. Feeling a little ugly. Legs are a little burnt. See if I can kick it up a little bit more. Use my whole body. Use my upper body. Remember, we're bench pressing. Bench pressing. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. We bench pressing, son. Dipping. Putting all these motherfuckers on notice each and every day. People say, what are you getting ready for? I'm getting ready to make you feel fucking embarrassed about the way that you're built. That's what I'm fucking getting ready for. Let's go. You got more in you. You can always push a little harder. Couple bikes up here. One more. I call this putting people on notice, putting you on blast. You could work as hard as me if you wanted to. And remember, this isn't even hard. This is not hard work. Because this is what I like. This is what I enjoy. It's challenging. I'm breathing hard. But find what you enjoy and do it a lot. And do it with some good effort. You owe it to yourself. Try to get the breathing under control again. Whenever I feel like my breathing escapes me, I feel like that's an open opportunity to get hurt, because I'm think about when you are injured and you bend down, your back's hurt, and you bend down to pick something up. What do? You tighten up. When I'm running, I start to lose my air. It's not the same as being hurt, but I do constrict and contract, and I get like this. And you don't want that when you're running. You want to be nice and loose. So I want to be able to breathe through these reps, breathe through these sets, breathe through the running. Gonna get another walk in, because at this point in the run, it's a little difficult for me to generate the kind of power and the force I'd like. You guys might see me challenging myself and pushing on certain things, but I don't push on doors that are locked. You won't really see me do that. I used to do that, but I've gotten hurt doing that before. So instead of pushing on them, I'll just knock. I'll just knock. And if the door can open up, then it opens up, and I take the opportunity, and I will then forge forward with that. I will push on that. But I just learned over the years, when things aren't there, you have a gut instinct to back down a little bit. It's really wise. Could I get better faster if I just went regardless? Maybe. Maybe I could, and maybe I did. But at the moment, I'm not in a race. I'm not in a rush. I am only competing against myself, and guess what? I feel like I'm getting better at a lot of things simultaneously. So when I keep the pace that I'm going at, it feels good. So I'm gonna pick up a jog. I'm gonna run around, cross over this bridge up here, and there's a pretty good hill at the end of the Arboretum. Let's see if I can run that. Maybe a couple times, we'll see. One of my other goals, kind of a real passive goal of everything I'm doing, is when I'm at my house, I don't want to have to get up from chairs using my body and using my legs, and then, you know, being like this, and then, you know, go into the kitchen. I want to be able to, you know, when I'm not training, I want to be able to move around in a real casual way. And the only way for that to happen is for me to make sure I don't overdo it when I train. Random turkeys everywhere. So it's not hard to do. I just need to, let's go left here. Just need to not go for those sets and those reps that are going to be left. Not be those sets and reps that are going to be detrimental. The sets that are going to set you back, right? And the cool thing is, when I train with Kenny Williams, future pro bodybuilder, we mainly are pushing hard on upper body, and I can kind of afford to do that on upper body with little cost. I mean, it's still negatively impacting the whole body. I probably shouldn't do it as often as I do it, but it's not that bad. We'll go left here, down the ramp. Something that I found recently is you can try this. You can you go from a walk to a jog to a run back into a jog and then back into a walk. That works really well. So you walk, you jog, you run, and then coming out of the run, you jog again. And that's just really good. You could do all of them for 30 seconds, or you could do the walking for 10 and the jogging for 20, and you can kind of mix it up whatever way you want. But you're really just trying to get enough rest to be able to actually put some good force into when you're running. So I'm gonna pick up the pace, and hopefully I'll get to 12, maybe 13 miles an hour or so. Let's see. The key for me is pressure down and back. If I run smooth, I run faster. Woo! Not sure exactly where I ended up on that, but that felt good for a first go of it. Feel good to do that one more time. Hello. So you jog your way out of it, and then you walk. Here. Really, like, just an awesome intervention as well is, or an awesome method, is just to walk and to run. Because when you walk, you're giving yourself active rest and active recovery without it being hard. You know, when I jog in between, that's tough to do actually. But walking, it's like right now, my energy stores are building back up. You know, if I was a video game, this is me picking up those little hearts, and you're watching that green health meter that turned red and got way down low from me getting hit by the bad guys. It's now revving back up. I'm picking up those hearts, or I'm picking up, in some video games they literally pick up like a thing of meat and they get a little stronger. Or Mario, he picks up a mushroom and gets jacked, right? So that's what we're doing right here, is like we're restoring, we're rebuilding. Now when I have opportunity to go at it hard again and to push and to kind of sprint, it'll be there. From right here, this post right here, I'm gonna pick, this is what I do. I just want you guys to actually visualize this and see this. I'm gonna go from here to that white post down there. See the white post on the right hand side? Those white little fence things. So I'm gonna go from here to there. And the way that I do this, wait for these guys to pass. The way that I do this in the safest way is I like to already start in motion. So where am I going to get hurt? I'm going to get hurt on acceleration, right? If you're not used to like running, you're not used to sprinting, you're going to get hurt in the acceleration phase. If you're not used to running, you're also going to get hurt after you've been going for probably 5 to 6 seconds or so, because now you're starting to generate some good power, and boom, there goes your hamstring. But for me, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to go to like a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. But I'm going to start out, when I get to this no parking sign, I'm going to pick up the speed and pick up the tempo a little bit, and I'm going to gradually pick it up. And then once I got a hold of like the correct speed, 7 out of 10 for me, I'm going to kind of continue to that white post. But it's an interesting thing to try to teach this to people or try to talk to people about this, because this is very safe for you to do, but you need to start with wherever you're at. If you haven't ran in a long time and you haven't done any sort of conditioning, you haven't even jumped up and down on one foot or haven't done any box jumps or anything like that in a long time, this is going to beat the hell out of you. So first time you do it, I would love for your experience to be really positive and really good. And I want you to be a total wimp about it. So I want you to leave a workout like this. Like I'm going to suggest that you do this like 5 times as a workout, and you just walk in between. So it's about 100 meters probably worth of running. You do that 5 times over, walk in between, maybe walk like 200 meters. So you got like double the amount of rest, and it's a long rest period. It's a lot of rest time. And then you're going to just follow along with what I'm going to do, because I'm going to kind of accelerate into it. After I get maybe to like this tree or right around here, I'll start to pick up as fast as I'm going to really go. And I'm just kind of going to hold that until I get to about that white fence. So safe, easy way for you to try some faster running. Start out low and slow. When I get to that post, I'm going to kick it up a notch. No crazy acceleration, but we're going. There we go, 13.3 according to the watch. Felt very safe. If you want it to even be safer, run up a little bit of a hill. Be a good idea. I'm gonna walk a little bit. This is getting to be really conducive towards my goals, because I'm still working on leaning out. And if I just go and run like 10 miles at like a mild pace, and I start doing that day in and day out, the intensity is super low, and then my body can get kind of stringy and weird and sort of broken down from all that. So these inputs are important. These inputs of speed and acceleration, telling my hamstrings, telling my glutes, telling my quads, look, we need a lot of power, bro. So in my head, the way that it works, my smelly science, is it works out a little bit. I'm sending a message to my body like, you got to keep this muscle tissue. This is not something we want to get rid of. Whereas if you're just running all the time and doing cardio all the time, maybe you're sending a slightly different message, right? So here we go. We're going to pick it up. As we get into more of a hill, we're going to go a little faster. Try to really use my arms. And there we go. Kind of nice too to see like a pace that you can get at. Like sometimes I'll be at like a 5-minute mile pace or 6-minute mile pace. It's just for a moment, but I'll take it. You guys know I like having little rituals in my run. I always do this at the end of every run. Touch certain signs, touch certain things on my run. Let's see what the Nike Run app.
Workout completed. Time 49 minutes 21 seconds. Distance 4.71 miles.
I started this a little late.
10:28 per mile.
Hey, it's your pacer, Jenna, from Nike Plus Run Club Portland.
That's pretty sick though. 10:28 pace, and I was walking a lot. That's kind of cool. This app does automatically stop when you stop, so it did stop with me a couple times where I completely stopped. But I'm just running way faster, feeling really good. And the evolution and the speed of everything that's going on right now, I'm trying to close out the other app, sorry, is oh, it's on my watch. So this says 5.2, and I started this a little earlier, so yeah, I probably ran 5.5. Save that shit. I'm running faster and I'm running better because I'm putting more thought into it. It's pretty much that simple. And I'm getting leaner because I'm putting more thought into it. Sometimes, I don't do this all the time. I actually got hit by a huge hunger tsunami wave last couple days because I have been getting really lean and I've been dieting pretty hard. But I will get into cases where, let's see, I take a lot of notes on my phone. I do get into cases where I will write stuff down. I will sort of track. It's like light tracking. I kind of make up the calories. I don't even really look at them. I just bag of meat, 250, oysters, sushi, chicken skewers, steak. I found that there's all kinds of apps, but I don't really love using them. I don't love getting all stuck in there. Here's another one: smoked salmon, jerky, lean ribeye from Piedmontese, 96% lean ground beef. So like midday, 1360 in calories. Protein hot chocolate thing that I make. A couple Quest bars. Put me at 2200, and then you see, like, I like to eat a lot of like these sweet treats and stuff, so ended up at 2600 for that day, which is probably still a pretty good caloric deficit considering all the stuff that I do in a given day. But I don't really know, and I don't really care. The only reason I'm sharing that with you is that the more time that you put into something, the more that you're going to get out of it. So literally, fuck your counter and your weighing your food and all that. That can be that extra little precise detail that someone might need at the end. But I just say, go old school and either just take notes in your phone or write down. My wife will do this. She'll write it down on a piece of paper. And if the food is super healthy, I don't think there's a real reason to be so engaged in the actual minutia of where the calories are at. But I do like the idea of writing down everything that you consumed in that day, everything that you ate and drank in that day, and you can look. And for me, it's super helpful. I get to the end of the day. The end of the day is what? The end of the day is time for rest and recovery. You're done with your day is over, and you're like, I just want some pizza. I just want some candy. I just want some ice cream. Well, you can kind of see by the way that you ate for the day. Do you have any room for that? Does that make any sense with your current goals? And when you're writing it down and you're inputting it like that, you're just a little bit more connected to it. So I don't want to discourage people away from their apps, and I don't want to discourage people that like to weigh their food and stuff. I think those could be some good habits. But my point is that if you, like, why not just start out with the smaller stuff? If you're not currently writing anything down or not tracking it in any way, just start by being mindful enough to at least jot down a note in your phone, and you can kind of look at that and you can make progress and you can make changes over time. That felt like a really good run. Leave your questions in the comments. I'd love to help you guys with some of your running, some of your lifting. I'm having an awesome time with it. Strength is never weakness, weakness never strength. Catch you guys later. Whoosh.